Why, hello there everybody, this is XP Walker here for your very first actual tutorial. Before we begin, I should warn you, I actually did try to make a tutorial about the tutorial, and in typical LuckCatchers fashion, the game crashed at the last 5 minutes of the tutorial. I rage quit, and so I will be returning to that, but we're going to start with the first step in making money in LuckCatchers. This is assuming you've completed the tutorial. If you haven't, you could still do this. It's just a little bit different for you. Instead of having a bigger ship like a brawler or a pilgrim for the humans, you'll have this little tiny noob ship here called the Shibe MK2, or for the humans, I think it's Sutler or something like that. Anyway, I'm going to use the tractor. So let's assume that you have either a tractor or a brawler. Tractor takes a few days to get to, but brawler is similar to this ship, and we're going to go from there. This same principle will apply to literally any ship that you own. It doesn't have to be the tractor. So if you're human, you have something else, it's totally fine. All right, here we go. Step 1, you're going to click on your docking port. There we go. Brings up your list of ships if you have any. I have a few. I'm going to click on my tractor. In my case, you can click on whatever ship you own. If not, you can buy one on the market. And okay, so here I've clicked on my ship. It is now selected. Now if I open my hold, I can see in my ship. I can also see over here in my warehouse, but at the moment I care about my ship. It has approximately, well, not approximately, has exactly 30 slots within it. So I can fit 30 unique items in my hold. Since this tutorial is titled Contracts, that's what we'll be doing. So with my ship open, I'm going to go down. Let's see, follow my cursor down here to Contracts. By the way, I'm recording this live. I'm not pre-recording. I believe that tutorials are best done when you experience them as you're giving the instructions. Okay, so let's just start with really easy, simple contracts. Steel Nargval, which happens to be where I'm at, to Shelter, which I know from playing the game for a million hours, that Shelter is just off here to the left. It's like, I don't know, 10 miles away, distance 10. So these do not pay well at all. They pay 29 silver a piece, which is paltry. But it's good for another form of money, which I will explain in a minute. So I'm going to go ahead and click Steel Nargval to Shelter. And it says, what ship do I want to put it in? I want to put it in the tractor, and I will hit accept. I'll do it again and again, and I will continue to do this until, and I can hit enter. I don't have to keep clicking up and down and up and down and up and down. I can continue to do so. Don't do it too fast because they'll all disappear. So wait about a second between each one. But I can do so until my cargo hold is completely full. Now, I'm not going to make a lot of money doing this. I'm just being straightforward with you. This is not the best way to make tons of money at the start of the game. But this is a great way to make tons of, well, a lot of premium currency, which is gold in this case. I'm going to show you that in just a moment here. And it is a good way to make great silver a little later on when you have a slightly higher level, roughly level 5 or better. Okay, so one more. Okay, our ship is completely full. It only takes up 30,000 of our 371,000. If you have the Brawler or Pilgrim, it's like 110,000, so you still have enough space even with that. And with the noob ship, even with that, you can fill up the hold without overloading the ship. So no excuse. All right, so we've got all of our contracts loaded up. Next up, we need to know where to go. Now, I know where to go because I've played the game for 1,000 years, but if you don't know where to go, that is okay. All you do is come over here to Accepted Contracts, click on any one of the contracts that you accepted, and you'll notice down here in my mini-map that there's now a circle around the destination city, and that destination city is called Shelter. If I want to know the name of it, I can either click on the map itself and look at it. There it is with the circle around it. Or I can click on the icon, which for some reason is a T. I never understood that. But the icon, if I click it, now there's a question mark over here. I can mouse over that question mark or click it, and it says Shelter, owned by this dude. If I mouse over him, his name is Mezar. They're all NPCs that own the cities. Okay, so that being said, I know where to go. I've got my cargo in my ship. Just to double check, I can click docking port, and it just brings my ship right back up because I was already in it. Yep, there we go. I've got 30 out of 30 in my ship. and I'm good to go. So all that's left to do is go. Now, if this is your very first thing that you're doing in the game, you've done nothing before, obviously there's a few things you need to do. If you've done the tutorial, you already know how to do this, but if you haven't, I will run you through it. You're gonna open up, let me tell you how to do it. You're gonna open up your ship equipment. You click on your airship, click on the equipment, H in this case. You're gonna make sure you have guns in each slot, ammo for each gun, and that you have hired gunners for those guns. And then last but not least, which I apparently forgot to do, change your guns to automatic. The NPCs do a good enough job of shooting down dragons, so just let them do it. Also, for now, since you're new to the game, uncheck shoot ships and shoot streks. You might accidentally shoot a city strek or a ship. I've only seen it happen a few times, but it can happen. So just turn that off. Your ship is only going to need to defend itself against dragons. And if you're an orc, you probably won't even have to deal with dragons down here because it's a very short run. Okay, so we're gonna X out of that, X out of our cargo hold. All that's left to do is go. So I'm gonna take off. This is the button right here to take off, or 6 on your keyboard. You'll notice there's no in-game sound right now. That's because I've got it muted, mainly because at the moment the audio slider for music does not work. So the music would conflict with the music that I throw onto most of my YouTube tutorials. I apologize in advance. The game does have some pretty nifty sounds though. So I recommend running it with sound on until you get tired of the music. All right, so I'm using WS, A, and D. So A, D, and then W. If I hold it down, you'll see my throttle indicator increase all the way to here, but I'm going the wrong way. Okay, my bad. All right, so let's turn around. Here we go. There's also an automatic way to do this. I'll show you that in just a second. Again, if you did the tutorial, you probably already know how. All right, so we've turned around. You can see on my mini map here, my arrow is pointed roughly towards shelter, and off I go. And I'm going to activate my glide, which decreases wind resistance and lets my ship go much, much faster. I can only do one level of glide as I have not learned a better level of it. I'm learning mana regeneration right now. Very important skill to get, by the way. Okay, so I'm on my way to shelter. The other way to get there automatically, if I step away from my computer or whatever the reason might be, is to click on land and then click the city right here on my mini map. Third, I can hold shift, so hold down shift. You'll notice the icon changes down here, and I can click on that, and it lets me choose from a list of all the cities in the world, and I can land at it that way, and it's in alphabetical order. So I just look for shelter, tell it to land at shelter, and it will do that. It's already doing that though, so we're good. It doesn't hurt to put a few crystals on your enhancer slots if you've received them as one of your daily logins. You'll notice that if you go to the daily logins down here, each day you get all sorts of goodies, and a lot of these goodies you can sell for quick silver. I already have 477,000 silver, and that was just from selling things like the weapon that I got from this chest with weapons. These iron plates sell for hundreds of thousands of silver, and they're a good quick buck to make early in the game if you don't want to do this sort of stuff like contract running. Okay. Now, before we land, there's one other thing I need to show you and explain to you as why these contracts are important to do, even if you have better ways of earning money. If you go down to your achievements, that's the star down here underneath your portrait. You'll notice there's an achievement for cargo delivery, digger, which is extracting resources, first blood, killing dragons, hunter, which is using dragon parts to build ships, like leather to build balloons and such. Shipbuilder, which is building ships. If you do the tutorial, you'll get the first level of shipbuilder, which gives you the parts you need to build the next ship, which is the Boar 100. I sort of cheated and just built the tractor instead, so my shipbuilder is broken until I build an actual Boar 100. And Law Enforcer for shooting down enemy pirates, NPCs specifically. Defender for the war event, we'll talk about that later. And the races, which at the moment are kind of broken, so I'll make a tutorial about those when I don't fear crashing. All right, so this is the one that we care about. Neighboring city. Deliver cargo from this capital, or from the capital, excuse me, to the nearest city. It's literally one cargo, so we're going to get that 50 gold just for doing that. The next level is 100 gold, and I believe it's for doing 20 contracts. We're going to find out in a minute. And then the level after that, I believe, is 50 contracts. Now, here's the thing. Gold is the quote-unquote premium currency. It's a free-to-play game, so you're just going to have to deal with the fact that there is a pay-to-win aspect to it. Although it's not required, it is easy to earn gold in this game without paying real dollars if you are not in a hurry. So we're going to earn 50 plus 100 plus I think 200 soon if we do one more run. Now, these cargo contracts, they don't make much money. They make like, what was it, 19 or 29 or something like that silver a piece, which is nothing. However, they each count as a completed contract, and all the other cargo deliveries that you do in this game, aside from the one from your capital to the nearest city, so from Nargval to Shelter, or from Baragor, Misty Baragor to, I think it's called a Hearth or something like that. What's the cities for the human up here? Yeah, Hearth. So from Baragor to Hearth, those two runs are instant regen. So when I accept a contract, another one appears. This is not the case for every other cargo contract. The other ones make a lot more money, but they do not regen instantly. They're more like 10 minutes a piece or longer, depending on how big the contract is. So I'm going to turn in these 30 contracts right now, and I'm going to get a bunch of gold. You're going to see it pop up right down here where I have custom inserted all my little altitude indicators and stuff. One of the cooler upgrades to LuckCatchers 2 has been these little altitude things. Yeah, I just got 150 for that. 150 gold is 15,000 silver, I believe. Yeah, so I just made 15,000 silver technically if I sold that gold right now. Now, if I go to my achievements, look at that. My next level is to perform 100 cargo deliveries, and I will get 200 gold for that. So 100 is divided by 30 is 4 runs. It's 3 runs plus a little bit in another run. So I could go from here, Shelter, where I am now, back to Nargval, from Nargval back to Shelter, and then back to Nargval. That'll take me about 10 minutes, maybe a little more, and I've just made an additional couple hundred gold at the start of the game. The next one, I think, is 500. That's a bit of a work. But again, all of your neighboring city rewards are based on a number of cargo contracts, not the weight of the cargo. So you can work your way up into some serious gold very, very quickly if you use a ship that has many slots in the hold. It doesn't need to have a lot of weight in the hold. It just needs to have a lot of slots, in this case 30. If I upgraded the ship to tier 3, I think it has 36. I could be wrong on that one though. Alright, so that is your basic contract running. Now, if you want to make real money doing contracts, as in real silver, not gold, then there is a way to do that, of course. If I go to my contracts, now that I'm in Shelter, or if you're in Hearth on the human side, I'm going to see that there's a run from Shelter to Ashtar. So if I want to check where Ashtar is, I can either click on the map and just look for it, or I can accept a contract and then click on the contract like I showed you earlier. I happen to know Ashtar is to the north of Shelter. It's the first human city north of the Orc capital, and it's quite a run here. I believe it is, yeah, okay, so 62 miles. Each of these, I believe, is 20 by 20. So 2, 4, I don't know, maybe I'm a little off. Maybe it's like 18. But anyway, 62 miles is a bit of a run. That's going to take me 15 to 20 minutes to get there. However, the payout is way better. So if I'm not trying to get achievements and I just want to make straight up silver, then this is a good way to do it, because each contract weighs 10,000, so we know I can fit it, and it pays 1,654 silver. 1,654 times 10 is 16,540 silver. Not a ton, but it's pretty decent. And I happen to know, although I'm not going to fly there to show you, that the run from Ashtar, meaning after we sell off this stuff, we can go from Ashtar to a city called Chief's Hall. That's a seriously long run. It's the longest one in the game, I believe. It goes from here all the way across the mountains, lots of dragons, to Chief's Hall, and it pays 2 or 3 times more than the run from here. So if you are the kind of player who in EVE Online like to do a lot of trading, you like to run cargo and stuff like that, this is your gig right here. You're going to go Shelter to Ashtar, to Chief's Hall, to Ashtar, to Shelter. Rinse and repeat. By the time you get back to Shelter, all those contracts should have renewed. So it's a bit of a trading triangle or a trading L. Here to here to here to here to there. If you're human, It is from Hearth to Umbergo to Backwoods to Shining to Cauldron to Baragor. It's actually a much easier cargo route and much safer. You're basically just doing a huge counterclockwise run across all of the human capital territory. All right, and it doesn't make quite as much money per run as this one does for the orcs, but you're going to make up for it by having more cities to deliver contracts to. So you should still break roughly even compared to an orc player. Or you could come down to Ashtar and just do this run. It doesn't matter. Humans and orcs are friends in this game. They're not enemies, so you don't have to do a specific run for your race. It just happens to be where you might be at the time. Okay, so simple as that, guys. It's just easy cargo runs. As you level up, the cargo contracts become larger. I believe at level 5 is when the cargo contracts get legit and they get really fat. In fact, I can show you that by logging onto my main character, who's a level 13. So if I log on to, oh no, that's generic orc. All right, if I log on to XP Walker, by the way, if you hit level 10, you can make a custom portrait, which is kind of cool. And log on to XP Walker. If I go to cargo contracts on this character, I go to all contracts, there are runs that pay out 2,000 plus per box. This one from Shelter to Ashtar that I was just telling you about, 5,500 per box times 10, so that's 50,000 plus for that run, and then I think close to 100,000 for Ashtar to Chief's Hall, and so on. There is a trade circle as well in the Orc lands for those of you who don't want to make this very dangerous run to Chief's Hall. You can go Nargval, Shelter, Zatar, Labrad, Bramaz, Edgin, Gerard, and back home, and just do this counterclockwise run. And oh, I just realized I called this a counterclockwise. It is a clockwise run, excuse me. But that's it for that. So good money. It is good money if you stick with it and if you are very careful. Please be warned. This is the end of the video. I'm going to warn you this here. The run from Ashtar to Chief's Hall is very dangerous. There are NPC pirates that may attack you if they're close enough. They aren't always there, but they can be there, and that's a long ways to go for you to get to safety if they attack you. If you've been doing your daily activities here, this little check mark here, each time you finish one, you will get what's called a Dove of Peace. I'll show you what that looks like here. When your ship is selected, oh, I gotta come out of the settlement to show you. When your ship is out, you'll see over here on the right is a Dove of Peace. It gives you complete peace for 1 minute. Each time you click this, you have 1 minute protection from all damage, NPCs, humans, everyone. So save these until you get attacked by a pirate. If you can't defend yourself, pop a Dove of Peace. Okay, this video is already too long. I'm gonna stop it right there, guys. That is your basic cargo contract hauling. Very simple, very easy. Really easy money in the beginning through gold, and not as easy, but very peaceful money for silver, minus the Chief's Hall run. So give it a try, guys. Try out the contract. Next, I'm going to show you mining on my next video. This is in fact a mining ship right here, and I'm going to show you how fun mining can be. I'm a little biased here. I like to mine much more than I like to run cargo contracts. So until the next one, guys, I will talk to you later.